What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Billy Collins.
Matt OJ.
And this is Magician.
And the Jock.
Guys, so you want to start your own YouTube channel. You want to be a content creator.
You want to tell others to smash the like button.
You want to tell others to subscribe to your channel.
You're living in your parents' basement, which is really hard to do in Eastern North Carolina. But you're living in there thinking, I need more subscribers.
I want that viral video.
I want to be a content creator.
Well, you've come to the right place because we're going to give our take on what our journey of becoming YouTube creators and how we got there, where we started from, the steps we took, the hurdles you have to jump over, and one of those hurdles is fear and how to get through that.
Yeah, so if you're maybe like me, I've been a creator for a really long time, a creative, I should say, and finally took the plunge to actually putting it out there. Billy had been making videos for a little while longer than I had. You know, in the grand scheme of things, not that much longer, but you actually did it.
Yeah.
And I know we talked to a ton of people who they're like, man, that's so cool. And when someone says that's so cool, usually it means I would like to do something like that.
I want to have my own YouTube channel.
Yeah. So I think maybe today we can certainly, you know, as the saying goes, you can only take people to as far as you've gotten at this point now. So but we can't make a video on how to get 1 billion subscribers because
we don't have that. But you can be one of them if you want to subscribe.
Clearly. But I think there is a lot of benefits to it. Number one, it's a lot of fun. But also there are some tangible benefits. So we're going to kind of just go through what that looks like if you're watching this now and you're just wondering how do you even get a YouTube channel to, all right, how do you come up with a show title, a topic, you know, do we do guests, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So I've talked to people before. I said, look, do you have a Gmail account? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, well, then you have a YouTube channel. And so that's set up automatically, right? Yeah.
Because Google owns YouTube, so they kind of they dumb it down, so it's really easy. Even Mongoloid like myself started the channel, so if I can do it, you guys definitely could do it.
Great warriors.
They were great warriors, weren't they?
Yeah, but I mean, I think the difficult part, at least for someone like me, is I can have a tendency to overcomplicate it, to think I got to get everything just right. And we've seen that with other, like, especially businesses that want to start creating content for their, you know, brand awareness or whatever. They'll run out and they've got maybe a big budget, right? And they'll run out and get all the cameras and lights and sets and all that stuff and thinking that's going to provide them inspiration for videos. And more times than not, it's procrastination. You know, once I get this light in, that's going to solve all our content woes. We'll start making videos then.
And also what I get, because I'm getting ready to help somebody start their podcast, help them set up the equipment, so like trade out that we're doing for our show so we can film at the facility. But when I was talking to her, it's like, you know, I need this microphone, this. I was like, you don't need any of that. You want to start simple because you're going to overwhelm yourself and gradually build into what you want to create for yourself as far as a studio or a backdrop. You know, when we started, we said this many times on the channel, we started in a room, we painted a wall black and we had one camera. I mean, we're shooting on one camera now, but still, it's, you know, it starts simple and then gradually build your way up.
Yeah, and if you want to get all that great equipment, that's great. Just know, really it starts with having a message and being willing to get on camera and hit publish, right? Upload the video, hit publish. And I don't care what camera you filmed on, what software you edited on, any of that stuff. There is that kind of fear a little bit of, holy hell, the internet's forever, right? And if I put this out, sure, maybe nobody will like it, but that doesn't really scare you. Like, no one's going to watch it. You might think it's a waste of time, but it's not really a fear. But with this cancel culture and things can be taken out of context and whatever it is, that's what keeps people from putting stuff out. That's what kept me from putting stuff out for a while. It was partly that, partly just not knowing
what to expect.
Oh, and what I was going to get on there and talk about. You
Yeah.
know, we're all so multifaceted. We all have experiences. We've all, you know, you can't really boil Billy down to one thing. Can't boil me down to one thing. But often when you're making a channel, you want to try and boil that, like at least one part of you down so you can have some consistency. And it's really not easy.
Yeah. And that's, we even said it before. You said, I just want to show up when we start it and just film. I don't anything else. And it's because I felt, well, you know, you told me that you weren't sure about the process. And then when you saw it and you started editing, because you do a majority of the editing, and now you enjoy it. And it does become enjoyable where also it allows you to kind of do some research and learn how to do it on your own and do fancy. And when you get a nice little cut that you do or a cool transition, you're proud of it, show it.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, the problem was I knew a lot of the stuff that went into it, and I knew that I was just going to use that as procrastination. I wasn't going to do it. You know, I'm like,
Yeah.
It was more, I don't care, just get a minimum viable video out there so that I wake up, I don't spontaneously combust. And what you'll learn starting out, there is a lot of stuff you got to do, right? So we film. We've got other systems where we can do multi-cameras, which we do with guests.
Yeah.
We've got a stationary camera now.
We got a green room.
Yeah, but I'm saying, so you film. So let's pretend you want to start a YouTube channel. You don't know where to start. Well, first of all, if you got a Gmail account, you have a YouTube account.
Right.
Right away, you have something you can upload to. Okay, what about cameras? Well, if I don't know anyone that doesn't have a smartphone.
That right there is a wonderful camera.
So Billy is the camera whiz. He knows all of those things. He calls the lens glass, which is we were at some place filming. He's like, nice glass. Or what kind of glass do you use? And I'm thinking, it's like a regular drinking glass. I don't know what you're...
And the guy goes, oh man, I got a 1.5.
One of us. But if you have just say that I have an older iPhone, but it films in 1080p, which that's what, one step below 4K.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I tell Billy, dude, we're not shooting Avatar. A lot of times we'll upload in 720p, you know. But so you have that. In terms of microphones, we've got lapel mics that you actually had.
Yeah.
You can get the stationary mics.
Which we use for our guest.
I ordered a lapel mic that plugs right into the iPhone, and it actually works really, really well. You can hide it. But I mean, I watch a lot of videos that people record with just the iPhone headphones because that's got a built-in mic on it too. So you have, I guess the point is you have a lot of the stuff to get started.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff, if you're worried about cost, I think a lapel mic for it is $20.
Oh yeah,
lapel
mine is it was something like that. It works great.
And they work phenomenally.
And look, even if you don't have the iPhone, you can get, as long as you're in a room that's not got a buzzing fan or you're right next to a busy highway or you have a crying kid, you can just use the audio right off the camera.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, you need to put something out. I know in Think Media, they talk about your worst video is your first video.
Yeah.
That's always going to be the case. And you'll gradually get addicted to creating content, especially when you're creating it for yourself. You're getting some fulfillment. Somebody comes out of the blue and says, man, I watched that video. That was really good. That was awesome. That's like crack. You know, you're making almost an impact.
You get that sense of acceptance. It's like, oh, okay, well, there and
man,
it's fulfilling to get that when people go, man, love the video, great stuff. We had a lot of fun with it.
You get recognized. It's always fun to get recognized. We did a video on celebrity. You know, the Joe Rogan said something once. I forget who he was talking to, but he's saying, look, nobody wants to learn how to fight. They just want to whoop someone's ass.
Yeah.
Right? They don't want to learn how to fight. They just want to be able to beat somebody up. Now, in terms of creating content, a YouTube channel, a platform, most people just want the benefits of creating that, right? The notoriety, the authority.
The monetizations and...
the fanfare, all of that stuff, which, not going to lie, we want that too.
Oh, yeah,
You got to learn
100%.
how to fight too.
Yeah, but It's a gradual build to that. It's not like we woke up and became this. I mean, I would say we work on, whether here at the studio or at our own houses or homes and stuff. We're constantly working on something.
Yeah.
Like either an idea or me. I look at the tech side of things, making sure what what can I get next to help
And the analytics.
propel our
I'm a flat out creative. So I've been creating either writing or filming or, I've just always been doing that stuff because it's a lot of fun. I don't like getting marred down in the details because it just, to me, I understand it all, I understand the numbers and stuff, but I know it's hard to be creative. It's like an art and a science, right? I'm maybe more on the art side of it. You're more on the science side of it, of posting at this time, on this day, blah, blah, blah. But even now, we're in the weeds, and if you haven't created a channel, you could think, holy hell, the perceived effort is off the charts. And we're here to tell you there's never been an easier or better time to create stuff. And I remember hearing Earl Nightingale said something, stop competing, start creating. There is such a thirst for content.
I mean, and people, it's funny when you scroll through and you're looking at all these channels, you're like, my channel's going to get lost in this. And it probably will, but eventually it's going to make waves if you keep at it. And when I say that, what I'm talking about is consistency. You can't just shoot a video 1 month and then 2 months down the road you're going to shoot another video and think, oh well, this is going to go viral. Let me just tell you, we've filmed 100 and something videos because we film every single week. We're putting content out every single week. We haven't had a video go viral yet. So
yeah, but I mean,
that's not the goal. But I'm just saying, if that's what you're thinking is going to happen, it's not going to unless you're consistent and unless you're really doing it on a continuous basis every week.
Yeah, I would call that's like the stars aligning is having a video go viral.
Yeah.
Right. Which is great, but your whole strategy is not going to depend on the stars aligning.
Right.
Right. You hit on a key that's so key in creating content and working out and really anything, and that's consistency. So, well, the number one rule for content is good content, right? And then number two, I would say consistency over frequency. Just like working out. We all know people who set a New Year's resolution to get in great shape. We just came out of Easter Sunday, and trying to find a seat at church on Easter Sunday is like trying to find a treadmill on January 2nd.
Yeah.
But you'll see people will start off the year, work out really, really hard, change everything, gallon of water, 6 meals, cardio, get to bed at 8, repeat. And then it's slowly...
Day 8 hits.
Yeah. And it can kind of be the same thing on this. Anyone that's come on our show, I don't think we've had anybody that hasn't been literally their life changed from being on the show. Not in the sense of business opportunities or whatever, but they just got to feel what it felt like to be part of.
Right. And it almost gave them, because our show, now that, just so you guys know, Small Town Big Sound is the name of the channel. Matt and I have Magician and the Jock, which you're watching right now. We have Fully Vetted is another one of our shows. But when our guests come on, we like to highlight those people and kind of push their story and let them have an opportunity to express what they've done. And we get a lot of people that say, well, I don't know if I have done anything that's worth watching or to be proud about until they're done with the video. And that's where you're talking about. They just feel, I was part of something.
It's a rush. So, but now we're kind of going forward, or fast forward a little bit. If you're sitting here and you want to create content, what I would do, I would encourage you to do it because the benefits are great. The amount of, you look at the world differently once you start creating content because you're looking for video topics.
Yeah.
You're looking for video ideas or, that's interesting. And also, if you're not sure where to start, the hardest part of creating a channel or whatever is narrowing down who you're creating it for. Who is this audience for? And we're still trying to figure that out. So if you don't know before starting, we're 100 videos in, and we're still like every single time before we shoot, man, who's watching this? What are they struggling with in their life that we could help out with? Like, it's tough to do. And what I can say, though, if you're unsure where to start, and I took this from Think Media, so we've referenced Think Media a lot. There are a ton of channels out there that are aimed to helping people just like you, just like us, who want to make it. They talk about your best position to help out you, call it 5 years ago.
Right.
Whatever you were struggling with that you somehow came out on the other side, you can start creating videos like that. So what would that example for me be like? I can help former NFL players trying to figure out where they fit in the world moving forward, right? Former professional athletes who they're having an identity crisis and they don't know how to leverage being in the NFL with the rest of their life. Billy, you can. We all had experiences we came out of.
Yeah, I mean, my experiences as a magician is how to create your set or how to present yourself on stage presence about yourself, or speaking abilities, or whatever the case may be. We all have something.
Or even granular, how as a man, how to come out on the other end of divorce.
Right, yeah.
And get back into the market. Whatever that is, it's unique to you, and that's where you're positioned really well. You're positioned well because there's believability, right? I couldn't do a video on how a former NFL player makes it in as a civilian, if you will, if I wasn't in the NFL. So I've got instant credibility there, just like you know. So look in your own life, look in your own experience and see, man, I've overcome whether it's huge or small, it doesn't matter. That's where you're best positioned. That's going to give you instant credibility. And also you're going to be speaking from practice, not from theory.
And it makes it a lot easier when you can speak from having past experiences and
you're just more believable.
Right. Yeah.
People can tell when we're up here sputtering and like, well, that sounds good, but it's just all theory versus, hey, when you're done playing football, you're going to be like, what the hell do I do? What was all that for? God, was I only in the NFL? This was it? I was supposed to, I know some of the thought processes that people go through. It can automatically speak on it.
It's just like I can speak on when you get a divorce and you're fat and you're in a ditch and you're just... Anyway.
You can speak on that currently, apparently. But, yeah, I would encourage... Now, there are those who want to create, I'm thinking of, we had a lot of business owners on, or people who have achieved a lot of success in the business world, and now they built that up, but they want to make maybe a more broad impact, right? I want to impact younger versions of themselves, essentially, on the motivation side, or inspire them, or, they've put in the time and came on the other side. And now they want to inspire them instead of maybe they may not want to make a channel about, XYZ company that does this. That might not get them super excited. That happens to be what they built their fortune on. But they have some principles that they know that they could help people out with. I see that a lot. It's kind of one of those, you get lost in success and found in purpose. And when you find kind of a purpose, then you start putting content out. Now you're making a change. I think back to Chase Martin's video. I mean, obviously he communicated that really well, because that's I think the most watched video of all the Magician and the Jock episodes.
Yeah.
So finding a passion to help other people, figuring out what you're specifically positioned and to help them with, that's going to give you some instant sources of content. But by and large, just putting something out, because you don't know what people are going to like until you put it out.
So, funny thing is that a little while ago, we watched the first video I posted. Had no idea what I was going to post. If you don't know where to start with a video of just introducing yourself. Talking about yourself, what you want the channel to do, where you want to go with it. Like Matt said, odds are no one's going to watch it. No offense to you or to whatever your content is, but they're probably not going to watch it because it's your first video. but you also have that reference so you can go back and look and kind of keep you on the same path, if that's the path you wanted to stay on. But it also breaks the ice for you to turn the camera.
Gets you over that.
Yeah, the
hitting,
hump.
The hitting publish hump.
Yeah, to press the, like, think media again says just press record. You just, okay, I press record, I put it out.
When I say just hit publish, because I've got tons of things I've just pressed record or just written that I've never released.
Yeah, because that brings up another topic is if you don't like the video, then you don't have to release it. But don't be too critical about yourself.
Yeah, I would say do the, like when I started with you, I'm basically what I was telling you. I want the minimum amount of effort that I need to put into it just so I can at least get some under my belt and get some kind of feedback and get that. You start to change your identity a little bit as a content creator, and you're putting it out. And now all of a sudden I can pay more attention to that stuff. I want to, like, this is something I'm going to do consistently. Let's make it better. But you can't get to your 100th video without getting to your first one.
Right.
And if you don't know what to talk about, just film yourself saying, hey, this is Matt, my channel. Yeah, I just always wanted to do this, but I don't really know what I want to talk about. But I think this would be really cool to do. Hey, this is a wall, whatever. Just, you're trying to get over that hump of hitting record, uploading it, and hitting publish. And you'll see it will change you. You will now hold yourself out as something different. It's the same reason why I wrote a book a couple years back. I wanted to, instead of reading books, I want to start writing them. Mm-hmm. Well, now instead of just consuming YouTube, consuming content, I want to start producing it, creating it.
And why not? I mean, YouTube is great. I've been filming videos. I think I got my first video camera when I was 9 years old. So 40 years of filming stuff. And it's just, I love it. But I had no place to post it. Now, YouTube for the past, 15 years almost? Something like that. You have a place to broadcast. It's your own station. So why not use it?
Yeah. And I would also say, too, sometimes when the camera comes on, it's hard not to do this, but you start using your camera voice, your YouTube voice, and your like you start trying to play a character to be on camera. What I can say, now obviously use discernment. Don't just come on here and curse like a sailor and, make bad jokes or whatever. Jokes that you probably would say when the camera's not on.
Right.
Don't be an idiot. But guys, I can't encourage you enough to just remain authentic. Be authentic. That you don't have to have a great memory to think about what would I say in this situation. It's like, I don't know. Just say what you would say in this situation. Right. And I don't know if you went through that. I might have gone through that a little bit because you're thinking about what you're saying before you say it, and you don't do that when you're talking to your buddies.
Yeah, you're just casually talking, and that's another good way to kind of get over that fear is just act like the camera's one of your friends and you're just talking to him. Mm-hmm. That he doesn't talk back because he's quiet.
It's a great friend.
Great friend. He's a great listener.
But what other has there been anything that was surprising as you started creating videos that you didn't know you would? The only way you could find it out is by creating.
I think the thing that I've learned the most from it is the impact that it has on people. I never thought that was going to be. In my head, I just wanted to create stuff and put it on YouTube, and just I wanted people to watch it and enjoy it, get value out of it, but also be entertained with it. But coming back and getting, like when we did the Peyton video, and people going, I feel so much better for watching that video. So I was feeling kind of like bad because I felt my life was horrible, and then I watched Peyton, and he's such a good guy and has such a positive person in his situation, the way his medical conditions and stuff. But it's those little things that surprise me that people watch, that they come back and they appreciate what we do.
Yeah.
And there's sometimes people don't appreciate what we do, and but you have to take.
Yeah, I mean, you will. It is pretty neat to meet a fan. As crazy as this is a hobby for us. So it's like I used to meet fans when I was in the NFL. That was my profession. But you'll meet people who will come up and, hey, I watched that video. It was awesome. And you're like, Because you might see a video might have 300 views, but that 300, there's not faces in that. Then you meet one, it's like, I love when y'all said this, or that was hilarious. And you're like, holy hell, people actually I guess they actually do watch this. They're not just an analytic on a video.
Yeah, they're not another number. They're actually humans.
Yeah, and your audience will start to define itself.
And that brings up a good point about audience and audience retention and people that are actually watching and your subscribers. So in the beginning, I was happy if I got 40 views on my videos. I was ecstatic. I was like, 40 people watched it? And then as time goes on, we're getting 700-800 views, which in the realm of the big YouTubers is not a lot, but for us, it's great. And I said, and then we'll have a video that does 200 views. And I'm like, well, that's terrible. And you forget the 40 views that you used to have that you were happy about. That's the growth that I'm saying is like, you're going to keep growing. But also, if you take in your mindset, say if you did a video that does 200 people, go into an auditorium and put 200 people in an auditorium. That's a big crowd.
I know
you should be proud of that.
I know there's a lot of, if you work in sales, and I know in my business, we'll do seminars where we'll have 50 or 60 people, and we're ecstatic.
Yeah.
The difference between that and this is evergreen, right?
Yeah.
Someone's not going to discover my seminar from 3 years ago that I did in person, 3 years down the road and say, hey, I saw you in that seminar. It was amazing.
Yeah.
No, you were either there or you didn't. So that kind of content, like at a seminar, a public speaking, a conversation between someone, that stuff ages like milk. Whereas this stuff really does age like wine. It is evergreen. And people will discover it. And we can see the analytics. They're watching videos from 8 months ago, which is kind of crazy. And what if you're a business person, you work in sales or whatever, we always talk about trying to overcome the biggest problem that business people have that's the obscurity, right? I call it the Obscurity Epidemic, kind of a play on the obesity epidemic, but no one knows who you are. Well, if 100 people saw your product, saw your service, how pumped would you be for that? Especially if you're doing like cold calling, especially if you're doing door to door, especially if you're trying to get people in the line at Starbucks and hand out business cards. Imagine if 100 of them sat there and listened to your message. That's powerful, right? Because we all know sales, life, dating, everything, it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
Well, don't get caught up thinking, well, I'm not Joe Rogan. It's like, well, he wouldn't be Joe Rogan if it was easy to be Joe Rogan.
Yeah, there's not many Joe Rogans. And also, guys, too, what Matt's talking about is like, the guys that you see, like the Mr. Beast or the Logan Pauls of the world, those guys have been doing this for a very long time. And they've sharpened their axes on the actual research, the actual trial and errors that they've done, changing things up. You might have to change things up if you want to grow it. We do that all the time, add new things, and we're still adding stuff to the channel. But those guys have been at the grind for a long time. So don't give up just because you haven't reached stardom within 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah. So, there is a part of it. What is it? I forget what book it was from, but someone asked, like, how do I get to Zion? They said, easy, just make sure every step is in that direction. So by getting consistency, let's say you have 50 videos done, well, now you've got a sample size that you can look at. Okay, when I talk about this, I get a lot of interaction. When I talk about this, even though this is a hell of a lot more funner for me to talk about, no one cares. Okay, well, at least now I can kind of see, okay, well, this is a topic. Maybe I should look more into that, because somehow whatever energy I'm giving off talking about this topic, people are resonating with it. They get something out of it. They share it. The algorithm likes it. I don't know, whatever it is. But that's what that consistency allows you to do, is it gives you a big enough sample size. I think the average podcast, they quit by, episode 7?
Yeah. They give up.
That's like starting a workout routine and working out just long enough to get sore. Yeah. So consistency is key. Consistency over frequency. The average podcast,
After seven,
seventh episode, it's over. And I think I don't know if it's that people are delusional, or the luster runs out, especially if you think in your head, man, if I just put it out, people, like, I'm going to get hundreds of thousands of views and likes, and I'm going to get endorsement deals, and my business is going to blow up. No, mother. Is there a button right there? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, it is on the button.
I'm going to get 100,000 views. Life's going to change. Business is going to explode,
Yeah.
which certainly could happen. But fall in love with the process. Fall in love with creating content.
100%.
And what's helped us is you're not reinventing the wheel every time, right? Now, when you guys start creating videos, it's going to feel like it because everything's going to be brand new.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. You're going to have to upload. That's the first time I've ever uploaded a video from either my phone or my camera to my computer. Okay, now how do I drag that into an editing software? Okay, that was the first time I did it. You meticulously know every single step, and you're doing it for the first time, so it feels like it's taking an eternity.
100%. And guys, I hate to keep referencing back to working out, but when you work out for the first time, you may not know how all the machines work, or how to lift, or what the proper technique of doing a curl, or safety squat so you don't hurt your back, or whatever. Same thing with YouTube. It's going to be frustrating, or not just YouTube, but content creating. It's going to be frustrating. But once you upload it and your video was out, it's like working out. You had to go through the process of learning how to use the machines, lift properly, eat healthy, and then you see the results. Your clothes start feeling better. Same thing with YouTube. You see the results. You see the videos going out. You're going to get the likes that you press and the comments down below and all that fun stuff. So the reward for the effort is huge.
And there's also a lot of personal growth.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, you have something you're proud of. You start to become, if you're going to hold yourself out as a content creator, you got to know your stuff. So you're going to be consuming content at the same time. And I love to write, and a trait amongst writers is they read all the time. So it's like one's feeding the other. Mm-hmm. You start watching YouTube videos from other channels differently because now you're a creator, right? I don't care who I'm watching. I feel like they're a peer. So I'm like, okay, they have a camera there. That's interesting. Now they have it there. I wonder, I like how that setup is, and I bet they have a light there. You start to, you've got kind of a inside the actor's studio type feel when you're watching this stuff.
Yes.
And you're because you're now both an observer and a participant, right? You're creating your own content. And man, it's a lot of fun. And it's the same way if you're working out, you're going to start getting stronger and before you have abs, right? Before you look great. It's not like that week, and then all of a sudden, damn, I'm jacked. You know, it's a process, but it's so much fun, and people they revere it, right? They think it's really, really cool that you upload stuff, because in their head they could never do that, or they don't know how to edit, or they don't know how. Look,
right,
guys, everyone in this life is winging it. Every single person. There are just some who have been winging it longer than others. So if you feel like you're winging it, get in line. That's there isn't some destination where everything's figured out. And how freaking boring would that be?
If everything,
anyways,
you would have nothing to do.
Yeah. So guys, have fun, create content. And if you're not sure what you're going to create, if you're a business owner, if you're a parent, if you're a sister, a brother, or something, there is something that you can help people out with. Rest assured. And if you know what you're talking about, you speak with conviction, believability, you truly have a heart to help people, because that all communicates.
Yeah.
If you do that, there are people out there right now that need to hear your message. And it's actually very selfish not to if you feel something bubbling up that you wish people knew, it's very selfish for you not to put that out.
Yeah. So
Chase Martin talked about that too. If you could just change one life, which I know we're sounding like we're going all Sermon on the Mount here.
but it's so true. I mean, it's very
You
true.
never know. It's what do they say that the pebble you throw in the water doesn't know what the ripples are going to hit, and that's truly. We've seen some really cool stuff. Some amazing opportunities have happened.
I call that my whenever somebody says, "Hey, I got a lot out of that," and it helped me. One of the videos or that I watched of yours, I call it the Billy Madison moment, where Billy Madison calls, Steve Buscemi's polishing his gun, and then he sits there and he goes, "Hey man, I was just supposed to say I'm sorry for treating you like a jerk when I was a kid," and he turns around and marks his name off
his people to kill
list and puts on lipstick. That's the way we feel like we helped that one person.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I mean, and we're all walking around feel like we're all trying to come up with our master system for dominating life. You know what I mean? It was just you're noticing trends. Oh, if I do it, that's a little bit easier. You have so many things right now that you can help people with, and if you're not sure, just ask yourself where you're sitting today. Are you better off than you were 5 years ago in some facet? Is some facet of your life better off? The answer is yes. Okay. Right now, you can start creating YouTube videos for yourself 5 years ago who was sitting there, had no clue how they were ever going to overcome said problem, had no clue how they were going to overcome being divorced, being on your own, had no clue how they would ever find any meaning in life from not being in the NFL anymore, not having that status, whatever. We've all kind of overcome that.
And also, here's an idea on the flip side of that. If you look at yourself and you're worse off now than you were 5 years ago, allow people to get on your journey bus on how you can become a better person by either creating or working out. Document your life if you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Document how, and leave your legacy. So maybe if you have kids and they want to watch, to say, for me, it's like, when my dad was down and out, divorced, overweight, his self-confidence was in the garbage can. Now I'm able to document what we're doing and create something so they can be proud of me, and as well as me being proud of myself and being proud of Matt for what we've done. So there's content and everything in life. I was just in Hobby Lobby before coming to the studio, and you walk and you could just see, I guess it's the magician.
New croquet set.
I needed some
knitting
tools.
But no, what were you like?
But you can look around, and like Matt said earlier in the video, you're just in life. You're going to see things that I can look at that monster can. I wonder if I can shoot it from 20 yards out with a rifle and just film it. I mean, content is everywhere. You just have to be creative enough with what is available for you.
And something that's helped me out a lot too is the idea of providing insight. So if you're insight is simply information beyond the obvious, right? So whatever it is that you do, maybe you're a new mom, provide some insight to expectant mothers, like things beyond the obvious, like, hey, when you get pregnant, your belly gets bigger. Like that's not gonna go viral. But if you say, hey, look, in the second trimester, you're gonna start getting these images in your head. You're gonna totally natural, but or once you have the baby, you're gonna sit there, wake up, and think, oh my God, the baby's drowning. You're gonna rush to their crib, and that's gonna happen. That's totally natural. That's insight, right? That's information beyond the obvious. For a new dad, what was some insight I got from that? Hell, when my son was born, I had no connection to him. Zero. For about the first month, I was like, what is this? I thought it was going to change my life. And to come to find out, talked with a lot of other dads, I'm like, hey man, did you notice when your baby, like when you had your kid or your wife had your kid and it was a newborn, that you felt strangely unattached to it? And they're like, yeah. And I'll say, okay, me too. Thank God. I'm not crazy. And that's something I never read in a book, never had anyone admit. But then I also noticed, when did that start to shift? Well, I started doing his bath when he was about 6 weeks, and I started contributing there.
So you
and
added.
then I got the connection. But it's little things like that we all have in life.
Little experiences that you can share with others, and then others might be going along the journey with you. So I know we've said a lot, so let's recap a little bit. First, we said if you have a Gmail, you got a YouTube channel.
Yep.
Pick up a cell phone or a
If you've got a
iPhone,
smartphone, which I know you have,
then,
you've got a
because
good
you're probably
enough
going to
camera
watch it.
there. Yeah.
Start with that. Get a name for your show or your
If you don't
channel.
know what to name it, just name it yourself.
Yeah.
Hey, come check out my channel, Matt Dodge. That's the name of the channel. You can always change it.
Work on what you wanted, your message that you want to get across, whether it be whatever genre. I don't care what if it's just for entertainment purposes or informational purposes. Get that in line. Hone down your niche.
Yeah, but I mean, really, guys, if you have a camera and a Gmail account, that is all you need, right? You can upload the video. You can upload it from your camera straight to YouTube, from your camera phone. I mean, YouTube will pick out a thumbnail. You just use one they use, and they just make the title. That's all you got to do. Hey, this is my first video. Publish. Okay.
Yeah.
Go shut your laptop. Don't check it, and then just let it marinate. And come back and you're like, oh, that wasn't that painful.
Yeah.
Then you'll go back and watch it. Man, I could make that a little bit better. And it's progress, not perfection, guys. Perfection doesn't exist.
That was the next step, is to always keep learning, be consistent. And my last would have to, and you said a little earlier, is just have fun. Just have fun with it. We have a blast when we come in here and just hang out and talk about topics and stuff. And you should hear the shit that says when the camera's not on.
Yeah, it is fun, guys. It's addicting. It is addicting, and man, there's some definite rewards to it. But anyways, hope you all enjoyed that.
Yeah, I hope you get something out of this. If you did, please leave us a comment down below.
Smash the like button.
And we'll see you on the next episode.
Peace.
Don't forget to subscribe.
You know I'm going to end it on peace.
I know, I forgot to.
You're done.
I forgot the subscribe thing.
Well, they forgot.
Tag on it.
It's ending right there.
They're not going to subscribe anymore. So,
If they've watched to that point, they ever going to unsubscribe.
I think they will.